All right, I just want to open this video with a little shout out to Cadillac. I just want to say shout out to Cadillac's EV team because there are so many car companies that are kind of pulling back on their commitment to electric cars and making less of them. You know, the demand's not there, it's very scary, but not Cadillac. Cadillac is one of the companies continuing to add to their EV lineup with stuff like this. This is the Vistique. I'm gonna call it the Vistique. I think that might not be how you pronounce it. Maybe it's Vistiq, but they love their little Q, and well, there's a little light show on the front, which is great timing because I think this thing is pretty sick. It is right between the Lyriq, which I reviewed and said was actually pretty underrated. There's a lot of birds for some reason. Right between the Lyriq and the Escalade. So if you thought the Escalade was a little bit too much with its 200 kilowatt hour battery and 9,000 pound curb weight and 6-figure price tag, but you need 3 rows and the Lyriq was a little small, they got a lot going on here. So this, starting at $80,000, is their full-size 3-row electric SUV, dual motor, all-wheel drive, and it has a lot of the upsides of that Lyriq, a lot of the great software and the great layout inside, but a couple little drawbacks, which I'll get to. But then it has all the space of the Escalade. Well, almost all the space. I think that the Escalade's a little bit bigger, and then there's the extended one, which is a 1.5 feet longer somehow, which is crazy. But as far as handsome 3-row luxurious EVs go, this is good, okay? You saw the light show at the front, which as I walk up to it, the key is in my pocket, it usually does a little dance to unlock. Those are the blinkers, which do a little animation. And then of course your full-size DRLs and just the grille glowing at night and the logo. It's a lot, but I like it. And then coming around to the side, that's your charge port right there. I'm kind of going fast because it's raining for no reason in New Jersey again. Your door handles, which are a little bit better, I think, than the Lyriqs. And this nice little trim piece at the back window, which is just a little character. It's not anything functional, but it gives it a nice shape to it. And then the back. So obviously the 3rd row back there makes it a long vehicle, but it's handsome. That red and black combo with the black roof and a little bit of matte chrome trim. I like it. And of course you can pop that Cadillac logo like you can on any Cadillac to see the lights flash and to reveal how much storage you have behind the 3rd row, which of course you can put down with those buttons right there. So it's not bad. You get a little bit of sub-trunk space as well for the groceries. So mostly all positive here. You got your tie downs. We'll get to this interior in a bit, but I'm a fan of the outside of the Vistique. Okay. Now there are also a lot of things that I really liked about the interior of the Lyriq, which is important when it's a luxury feeling vehicle. And the Vistique keeps a lot of those things, but not all of those things. So I want to shout out the stuff that's good, and then maybe point out some of the stuff that will feel like a drawback if you saw what the Lyriq had inside. But it feels closer to an Escalade for sure. Now I'm happy to say that the materials and the build quality are great. Like, this is something that's true about Lyriq and Escalade. Like, the seats are super comfortable. Look at these seats. These are, I mean, I don't love the color. I wouldn't pick this interior ever, but these are heated, ventilated, massaging seats with speakers in the headrests, super adjustable. You get all your controls over here. You can heat the seats, you can cool the seats. The steering wheel is heated, it's leather, it's nice and large, and you have little cameras there for your monitoring, for obviously your little bit of self-driving. But then there's a little bit of, you know, piano black and touchscreen where I probably wouldn't love it. Like, this is closer to Escalade. I would like the buttons from the Lyriq, but you have all your HVAC controls over here, which is fine. It's just not amazing. You have speakers everywhere that are really good, and the classic Cadillac thing where they design every speaker so they're really nice to look at. And I think they sound really good, B+ speakers, so that's nice. But then, you might have also seen a special headline in the past couple weeks about GM not doing CarPlay or Android Auto anymore. They're abandoning it. So the Lyriq had wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. The Vistique does not. So it still runs the best software that is not Android Auto that I've seen in a while, and it is not CarPlay. Like, it's got the Play Store, it's got all these apps you can download and install, and it's super smooth. So I have put Waze and Spotify on here, and that's easy. But no CarPlay, no Android Auto. That's kind of a bummer. It does have Google Maps, so you can jump in and it knows the charge state of the car, and it knows how to navigate to different chargers, and that's all great. And obviously a little bit of touchscreen control over here if you want to switch to certain views while you're driving. But yeah, that's a change that GM made, and not everybody's going to love that. So if you were thinking about which one you would get and you were hoping to use CarPlay all the time, for example, then the Vistique is immediately off of your list. But yeah, at $80,000, if you're comparing this to something like a Tesla Model X, for example, as far as 3 rows go, it's not even a question. Like the material choices, all the space here, the leather wrapping everywhere, the interior sound isolation, like everything from head to toe is quality. You do have the 2 cup holders here. It's a little bit less optimized up front, so that your wireless chargers for your phone are back here, which is a little bit out of the way. And then there's a little bit of storage down here, which is designed again, but it's kind of small and doesn't have a ton of vertical space, so I end up not really using that. Like if I got a bag of takeout food, normally I'd want to put that in the middle with an EV somewhere, but it's going in the seat in this car. Big center console storage. There's your adapter to supercharge at Tesla superchargers. And thankfully this is not piano black, so I can use this little dial to move around. This is, you know, typical Cadillac stuff here. But yeah, I think what we should do now is hop in the second 2 rows. Because if you're looking at the Vistique, you care about that. So let's get in the back here. Oh man, it is really not great weather, but that's what happens when you shoot videos in the wintertime. Shout out to everyone else who does car videos on the East Coast, because I know what you go through. It's colder and colder every week, and we still make these videos outside with these cars. Okay, second row of the Vistique. So behind a 6'3" driving position, there is plenty of room, but the floor actually does get a little bit higher. When you get into the back, there's this little step here, and then the back row is elevated a bit. So we'll get back there, but all the touchscreen HVAC controls are here, full-size outlet, which is nice, and 2 USB Type-C ports, and some more cup holders. So you're not lacking any space. More cup holders and storage over to the left, and this huge openable sunroof, which you love to see. You don't open it in the winter when it's like this, but this is a good second row. So it's not bad. Okay, let's get into the third row. And in this 7-seater, or 6-seater, I should say. So yeah, this is about what I expected. Same with Volvo EX90, same with Lucid Gravity even. A pretty tiny third row that if I had a second person next to me, we'd be in some trouble. So I think if you have this seat forward enough, you can sort of fit behind here. But I think the whole point of having the captain's chairs is, you know, a little bit of extra legroom. Sneaky, usually one of the best spots to be in a road trip for me is all the way in the back, so I can extend my legs. So that's still true about this car. You still got cup holders, you got speakers, and you've got that nice little design in the window, which is actually not bad. So as far as 3 rows go, again, if the Escalade is too much, which it's a lot of vehicle, it's 9,000 pounds, it's 200 kilowatt hours, it's $100,000. If that's too much, but you still want full-size 3 row for $80,000, this is right there. Now, I don't want to spoil our end of the year car awards too much, but there are other things in this category that are even cheaper, like Ioniq 9 and Kia EV9. So this isn't an auto win by any means in the category, but I think when people look for luxury, I mean, Cadillac really doesn't ever let anyone down in that category, and I think this is obviously a winner as far as that goes. I mean, just look at the driver's seat. This experience is great. You got an HUD up here, it's nice and bright, a lot of visibility. Good spot to be. If you're wondering, it rides a lot like the Escalade as well, despite not weighing quite as much. It has a roughly 100 kilowatt hour battery and about 300 miles of range on a full charge. And if I flip over here to drive modes, which I wish there was a hardware way to flip between drive modes, but I wasn't able to find one. But if you switch to touring mode, it's like super, super smooth and luxurious. The suspension is all the way soft, and the response to the accelerator pedal is super soft. This is like, it's like limo mode. One pedal driving is on, it's great. When you put on sport mode, it firms up just enough. It's a little bit more responsive to the accelerator pedal, and still one pedal driving, which is nice. Oh, and I just forgot to mention, there is no hardware button to open the glove compartment either. See, there's a lot of things that I wish were just a little bit different about this car, but no major complaints. Anyway, I was talking about the way it rides. It rides well. The suspension is good. Cadillac has not let anyone down in this category in a little while, in my opinion. And so if you're thinking about, yeah, electric three-row, luxury, good materials, good build quality, and don't need CarPlay, this might be the one for you. Also, at this point, I'm a little scared because of what I'm seeing behind me. What is happening? What happens in New Jersey in the winter? I have no idea what's going on. I'll be right back. All right, final thoughts. If you made me pick a full-size electric three-row SUV right now, and you put a gun to my head and you said, you have a $90,000 budget, what are you gonna buy? My first pick would be the Volvo EX90. My second pick would be a tie between this, the Rivian R1S, and the Lucid Gravity. They're all right next to each other, and I really like a lot of things in this one. I'd probably want to chauffeur people around most in this, to be honest. Like, my parents loved riding around in the back of this weekend. So yeah, shout out to Cadillac. Keep making new, interesting stuff. We appreciate you. Now, if New Jersey, you could get back to at least not being trash weather all the time, I would appreciate that too. Peace.